Hi everyone, I'm Alex Wong, the creator of the Story of Community, and welcome to the Epilogue. Every Wednesday for, I guess it's now this week and next week, I'll be chatting with some of my fellow community podcasters about their experience as longtime community fans, which I, as someone who first watched the show in 2019, am not. So here with me once again are Adam from Apartment 303 and Matt from the community's Twitter account. And today we're talking about episode 6, 2014, where I tell the story of the NBC cancellation, the Yahoo pickup, and the second round of major cast shakeups. So the first question for today is, okay, obviously you were worried, but how worried were you after Community was canceled by NBC that you might never see another episode?
Oh, I thought it was over. I thought it was completely over. In the season finale, Dan basically shoves NBC's nose in it, saying, haha, I said 6 seasons of the movie, so it's canon, and then makes up stupid shows for the end tag, which or and makes the line about, or we won't get picked up, or he's thumbing his nose at NBC executives for bringing him back. He did exactly what he shouldn't have done. And they did exactly what they were supposed to do. You can't be treated like that by somebody who's running a show. You have to cancel them. That was, he basically dared them to, and they did. So as a fan at that moment when NBC cancels after the 5th season, it felt inevitable, and it was heartbreaking because that was not the. I mean, they've had better endings of seasons, and that we just wanted. We're so close to one more season. I mean, it was brutal.
I don't know about you, Matt. I would watch Mr. Egypt and Celebrity Beat Off. Those sounded like good shows to me. Um, no, that's a good point. And just viscerally, when it got canceled, I didn't know what to do because even having been on this roller coaster ride the whole time, and around I don't remember, it was season 4 or season 5 when the hashtag of 6 seasons in a movie really kind of came back and sort of became prophetic. As you mentioned, it's just kind of a throwaway line in one episode, but then it really sort of drives the fan base.
It's in
And
season 3.
season 3, okay.
Yeah,
So
we're already there.
yeah. But I guess for me, just personally, like, it kind of became more real at that moment after this particular cancellation because we were so close. It's like, oh, it's right there, it's right in grass. We're, what is that, 83% of the way there. So I was definitely worried too. And you mentioned, of course, you cancel that show. That all makes sense logistically from NBC's standpoint. And yeah, I didn't think that we were going to get a 6th season. I didn't think we were going to get a movie. I thought that was season 5. I thought was the canonical end of Greendale.
Yeah,
I
it
was
felt like it.
when I was looking up stuff for this, I noticed or I read that so the cast contracts were going to expire on June 30th, which is like pretty much it because then you have to
Yeah.
I mean I don't know that much about the inner workings of television, but I presume once they're let go from those, you're pretty much done. And the day they were picked up was like the afternoon of June 30th. So it was
Yeah.
like really like right there.
It's the most Greendale thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did you
No,
feel that?
I
Like, how were you like those last week or so? Was that last week or so? Were you just like refreshing Twitter like
well,
20
yeah,
times an
but
hour?
yeah, we are begging Hulu to pick it up. I mean, that's the first place everybody turned to at the time. Is you begged Hulu for pick it up for the last season, make it real. I mean, that was the collective attempt, was to get Hulu to do it. And Yahoo. I mean, Yahoo wasn't even a thought in anybody's mind as an option because Yahoo Screen. We knew they were about to start a streaming service, but we don't know anything else collectively in the ether. We thought our best bet was either Netflix or Yahoo, and at the time, Netflix was not the real option. It really only was Hulu, and so that was where the fan base was focused on, is trying to get Hulu's attention. Like, pick this show up. You were already watching it on your platform. Make this thing happen, and we'll subscribe for life. We'll happily watch all of these commercials and stop turning away and filling our glasses when it happens. So I mean, that was a big part of it, is begging Hulu to pick it up. And then when Yahoo picks it up, I mean, a lot of us had to go, well, what Yahoo? There is no streaming service of Yahoo when they get picked up. It's an idea, not a thing. So
And
it
that was
was,
very
and
clear in
yeah,
the production. Like I
yeah,
can't tell you how many
it was rough.
times
Yeah.
I had to refresh. And as soon as it hit a glitch for me, and I don't know if other people had this, like I had to go back to the beginning. So I've watched the first half of more of season 6 episodes than I cared to. Just because like that's what I had to do. And it was just back to zero and watch the whole thing. But that's the level of commitment that I was willing to invest.
Oh yeah, what a trash platform to start with. And it, it wasn't that much better. The commercials were all timed. It talk about infuriating. It's preset in. And Yahoo's screen would be off by 10 seconds. So you're at the commercial break right before they're going to do the thing for the commercial break, and somewhere between 10 and 3 seconds right before it stopped playing.
Mm.
Played you the commercial, usually Honda, ding dong, and then when it came back, it had a little clip of a short bit of the end of the previous episode, black screen, and then the next thing started. How did you screw up your own commercials? It had days where no commercials would play. So you watched it, it set up the commercial, and it went right through it. And it had days where the commercial got stuck and you saw it twice.
Yep.
Like you watched multiple Honda commercials that were the same commercial in the middle of watching the episode. I mean, I don't know how they function at any level, but I mean, just as a service, it was complete trash.
I
Well, they
bet that the
bled money for sure.
Greendale AV committee is in charge of production. That's how it
Oh, yeah.
happened.
It just didn't work, and it didn't work well at all. And it made watching it difficult.
So, speaking of that season, were you expecting anything out of it? Or were you just like, all right, we got a 6th season, whatever happens, happens, but at least we got it? Or
Personally,
did you want something?
oh, I wanted a good finish. Even because we knew that, because of how close they got to the end, we heard more about the contracts, and they really only had 1 year left. So this is the window they had left. I just wanted a good finish. I mean, for me personally, I was happy that we had a 6 seasons, because if we had a 6 seasons, it meant the possibility of a movie and finishing this ridiculous idea that is possible, making it happen. I wanted that. So I was happy that it existed. When I watched the 601 and 602 ladders and Lawnmower, I was in a Alexandria, Virginia hotel, a crappy hotel in Virginia, on a research top over crappy Wi-Fi and with the secondhand smell of weed because the people next door were smoking it. And it crashed, I don't know how many times. And I just wanted to watch my favorite people do stuff. And I got that. And I struggled through that stupid app to do it. But I got my show. So, expectations, I wanted a good ending, and I was happy however we got there.
Yeah, I would have to echo that almost word for word, except for the secondhand weed part. I was pretty dissatisfied with how season 5 ended. I've gone on, Apartment 303 on my podcast, and said that, but it just felt discomforting. And the thing that I like most about Community is not Dan's nihilism coming through. It's despite that nihilism that everyone on screen still comes together and still cares about each other anyway. And we did get that in season 6, and it concluded that way. I was just along for the ride. I was content to have content to watch, with my favorite Greendale folks, and then some new people. And it was, again, I was pretty tired on the roller coaster we've been through, since 2010 at this point, really. And I was satisfied that there was content and the possibility of a movie, a good conclusion if there's no movie, and then also the possibility that that's still in play. That's all I was
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah, 5 and 6 were really dark. not just the camera and the lighting. I mean, 5 and 6 were a lot darker than 1 through 3. And I'm not going to complain about 4 here, but it was, you could tell Dan was angry. And Dan was angry, really angry in 5. And he was really exhausted with his anger by 6. I think that's the way when I watch it, that's the way I think about what Dan's doing. He's burning himself out. And that's how I watched. If you listen to the commentaries that he does, where he's by himself doing the commentaries on the episodes, he ends every one of them with "I love you," and he sounds so exhausted.
Yeah.
That he was really running on fumes to get to the finale, and then the finale just beat him up. And we all felt that in the end. I think we all felt how Dan felt to some degree. It's like, gosh, we're so glad we got this, but man, a lot of this hurt to get here. I mean, I love Frankie Dark, and I love Keith David's character
Elroy Patashnik.
Elroy, and I thought they would have loved if they had more episodes to flesh, particularly Elroy's character out.
Oh yeah.
But they did what they could with what they had, and they did put some really good episodes in 6. It just, Dan's darkness poisoned 5 and 6 a little bit, and that always, I always feel bad for the show in that regard.
On that note, that's it for this episode. Thank you to Adam and Matt. As always, you can find links to their podcasts at bit.ly/thestoryofcommunity. Thank you to everyone out there for listening. And I'll be back for the final show next week to talk with everyone about episode 7, which covers 2015 to 2020. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you then.